Welcome to this edition of DURKO's Notebook for the 2024 Austrian Grand Prix. Got a shitload of stuff I want to talk about this week, so pull up a pew, sit back, relax and enjoy the show. You wouldn't fucking read about it. So this round we've returned to the Styria region of beautiful Austria and to the Red Bull Ring as it was currently known, I should say, previously known as the A1 Ring or the ÖSTERREICH Ring many years ago. And it is such a great circuit. It's tight, it's small, and it weaves and flows around the side of the hill. And it's another example of why I believe dedicated tracks are so much better than stupid street circuits. So Austria has, or the Red Bull Ring I should say, has had its challenges, especially last year we were faced with the FIA taking up to 5 hours to make a decision about breaches of the track limits. So this year they've turned up with new small gravel traps that are a fraction wider than the width of the rear tyre themselves, at about half a metre in width. So it's been great. They've introduced AI technology to make sure the car measurements are right in terms of them going across the thin blue line, which is now the technical line breach. And as a result of that, they can obviously make quicker decisions as to when a car has gone outside the limits. Now, Oscar Piastri was one of those who was caught by the track limits, and the team, I should say, McLaren, decided to appeal the breach, but that was dismissed because it was clearly pointed out that he had gone outside the lines. So the race itself, a bit of a snooze fest, as some people refer to it, until, of course, lap 64, when it just all turned to shit. Obviously, Max was at fault. Some people are trying to defend him to say it was a racing incident, but it was clearly obvious that Max ended up in the side of Norris's car at turn 3, where we've been witness to so many memorable collisions of teammates and also other drivers in opposing teams coming into each other. But turn 3 is again delivered for us, and Max was clearly at fault. Why he didn't get a harsher penalty, I don't know, but obviously Norris copped a fair bit of damage to the right rear, and he's of course ended up retiring his car. Now, Andrea Stella, as the team principal, has come forward and had his say on stuff, and I think he's made it very clear in this image you can see here where his statement was made to Ted Kravitz, and he certainly cleared the air as to what he thinks was due in terms of Max being dealt with for penalties, because a lot of team principals and others believe that Max has got away with stuff over time and has not been penalised for what he's done. So I think overall that last sort of 7 laps was great to watch, and to see George come home for the win, and Oscar's retained second, and obviously Carlos in third. So it was a bit of a changing of the guard on the podium last night. Now, because you've got to say, give credit to Haas, it was a great result for them in the points with 6th and 8th position. So maybe Ao Komatsu's doing something different there that is really starting to turn that team around, or it could be just the attrition rate, obviously, from Norris and Max, but at the end of the day, it was a good result for Haas, I've got to say, overall. Now, I just want to clarify quickly before I close about the drivers' market. Now, Daniel Ricciardo is under pressure. He's been told that, and there's no way in backing down from it to say that Lawson is on the radar to replace him. And the hot rumour is Dan Rick's going to be replaced after Spa when they go to the summer break. So that could be his swan song, and Lawson will get planted into the seat. And obviously Sargent, he's turned up, of course, in Williams and got his participation medal because he turned up and drove the race. But the hot rumour is that he's going to be replaced as well by Antonelli before the end of the season, because he's just not delivering at all. And of course, the sad news during the week was, of course, that Aston Martin have re-signed Lance Stroll for some stupid reason. I'm no fan of the bloke. I keep whinging about him, I know, but I don't believe he deserves a seat in F1 because he can't deliver, and he just keeps getting his arse handed to him on a platter by Fernando Alonso. So why? It's clearly obvious that Lance has remained in that seat because of Daddy's chequebook. And Daddy owns the team, but why you would retain him, I don't know, because he's better off going to the Le Mans category, racing whatever Aston Martin car they want in the Le Mans series, and that'll occupy him and give him something to do. But I think, if they don't put Dragovic in, just put some bloody driver in there that's going to deliver and not bend the car as often as Lance does. Yes, that's basically it for this edition of the Notebook for the 2024 Austrian Grand Prix. And I'll be back next week when we return to the UK and the British Grand Prix. Until then, thanks for watching. Auf Wiedersehen.